Hello everybody, how are we? How's everyone doing this evening? Don't know who's there, if anybody is there. Hope we're all well on this extremely muggy and sweaty horrible evening. It's a bit... hope we're all doing well. Hope we've managed to get out to our hobby stores now that they're all open again and spend a bit of cash with them. I got out to my one today in Ely at City Cycle Centre and picked up some bits that I wanted to get. I'd already got some bits for the airbrush, but I wanted to get primers for the airbrush, which I hadn't managed to get yet. Hello Jake, how you doing, buddy? Yeah, I needed to get primers for the airbrush, so I'd seen a lot of people talk about the Vallejo primers, so got the grey, black and white, which you still need to thin for the airbrush as far as my understanding is, but it's still designed for the airbrush according to everything on it. I actually have used it today, but not actually via the airbrush. I've primed this, but I just literally brushed it on, and it's actually it's really nice primer. I'm very, very impressed with it. So looking forward to that. What else did I get today? Oh yes, I got some Vallejo water texture. This is just for still water, but I think I'll be able to use it for a few more things other than just still water. Oh, in fact, actually, where's my test? Oh yeah, I did a test bit just to see, because I wasn't sure how it finished, like whether it was hard or if it was slightly tacky or what. So I just put literally a layer of it on the back of this shot glass that I bought to do mixing for the airbrush. Let's see if we can actually peel it off. That is how it's gone on. Made a complete... So you take the print off the bottom of the shot glass, but it sort of ends up in this kind of stretchy, like rubbery plastic. It's quite weird, but that is cool. It's got a nice sheen to it, so yeah, I think I'll be able to use it for quite a few bits. Who we got? Bobby, evening, doing good. Jake, I haven't been back at work this week after being on furlough. Yeah, I'm not far from coming off furlough by the sounds of it, but doesn't sound like it's going to be the greatest of experiences, that's for sure. Going back into the restaurant industry, it's going to be different, people. Very, very different. As to whether it will be as a relaxed and fun dining experience as you're used to, well, that remains to be seen. Bobby Clark, I have those primers, they're nice to work over. Well, I shall certainly be seeing tonight, but I think I'm going to agree with you, Bobby, because it's just gone on so nicely. It's one of those things. I was priming a grey resin model with a borderline identically coloured grey shade of grey primer on this model, and it was actually quite hard to see where I'd gone, but it's, yeah, for brush on, I mean, it's just gone on so nicely. So this is, I'll bring it up here and see a little bit closer. So this is from the Burrows and Badgers from Oathsworn. This is from their recent Kickstarter that fulfilled. You can now get it in their store. But this is the large Raptor model. This is one of the ones I'd desperately been waiting for when I read the rules and I made up a few army lists just to kind of just for shits and giggles. I almost always wanted to put a large Raptor in. I don't know why, but I just gravitated to the idea of it. And at the time, he didn't have a model for it, and I got some separate ones. I got Tail Feathers, which is a game in the Burrows Mice and Mystics board game range. They have these, and I was going to use these for them and stuff like that, and I got loads of mice out of it and stuff like that. So I have loads of stuff if I wish, but I do like Michael's aesthetic on his stuff. So yeah, this is the large Raptor model, and it's just, I think I showed it off the other week, but god damn, it's so pretty. It's got such lovely detail on it, and I said I was sent Michael a message or talking to him on Facebook, I forget what it was, but just saying that there's something about the way he poses minis. He's just one of the best at it, I think. I mean, like just the way he's got it like arcing around that turn, it's just got its head turned that little bit, like it's just zeroing in on a target. It's just, I just love it. I mean, it's hard to put expression in a bird's face, but this bird, I tell you, has such meaning and purpose in its expression. You know, it's so focused on what it's doing. It's just beautifully done. Yeah, it's Bobby Clark looks nice detail on that, but it's really beautifully done. Jake Ward, yeah, I work in hospitality too. Been non-stop since Monday. What do you do, Jake? What have you been doing in hospitality since Monday? Because I don't think anything was. We're not going live till really properly the 4th of July. So, so yes, working on this puppy this evening, and I was looking up. I wanted, like I said, I wanted this model for quite a while, so I really want to do it some justice. So I'm going to push myself a little bit. You know, I'm very much of the kind of let's just get it done, nice tabletop standard as it would be called. But I'm gonna push myself a little bit on this, and I thought, well, I could strip it if it doesn't work out. So I was thinking, right, what birds shall I go for? And I was looking at peregrine falcons and golden eagles and this, that, and the other. Oh, hang on a minute, I see sparrowhawks all the time. You know, that is a bird that I could properly relate to, because I started looking at kestrels and sparrowhawks because we get them a lot here. So I'm going to go with the sparrowhawk. You can see this is the sort of colourings I'm looking at. So it's going to be very dark black, very shades of grey. I'm not going to try too hard to put the sort of various shades in there, but then this beautiful sort of white and sort of dark sandy kind of lined. It's got a real beautiful pattern, which I think I can achieve. This one, it's quite dark, but I'm going to go with the slightly lighter thing. But you know, I think I can achieve all of that. I don't think that's beyond. Maybe it won't be quite as dense lining, obviously, as all that is. But like, I mean, his chest is mostly covered up, so it's not too. God, well, I'm looking at it like this. I'm thinking, oh, what am I doing here? Yeah, I think I can do it. Oh, I see. Right, Jake. Yeah, I work in IT, so we're checking internet tills, etc. Now working. Right, I get you. Yeah, yeah. I thought you worked in IT. That was when you said hospitality. I was a bit surprised. But yeah, look. So these are those sort of colours that I'm looking for. I love that juxtaposition between that real dark back and then this beautiful dappled front. You know, seems to be. Like this one, very, very yellow eyes. This one, very, very orange eyes. Very yellow eyes. And a yellow and black beak. And a not so yellow and very black beak. So, looks like I have room for manoeuvre. Reality can be stretched somewhat, which is always nice. Right, so what have we been up to then, gentlemen? Bobby, it was nice to see your stuff on Instagram. My good God, man. You be good. Feel free to post a link to your Instagram on here, or in the Standard Tabletop group on Facebook, because I really absolutely loved your stuff. I thought it was absolutely beautiful. And the more that see it, the better. Because that stuff deserves to be seen, sir. I'm going to go quite contrast painty on it, I think. And I'm going to do around the edges, and then where, is that going to be too dark? No, I don't think it will be. Yeah, and then where they meet, I'm going to not quite get to that bit first, and then I'll do them almost together to try and sort of slightly blend them in together, if possible. Again, we shall see. How are the Dark Angels going, Jake? You still motoring through them? Been like a bit of a machine by the look of it. Right, here goes nothing. Obviously, contrast on a feathered bird is just, it's gonna go on nicely. That's almost unquestionably. It's that makes, because then what I was thinking of doing, if I could put a base single layer on almost all of the sections that are going to be the colour that they're going to be, and then when you go over, obviously contrast, it kind of doesn't reset the paint. If, like, sometimes you go on washes, if you put a wash on a wash again, it kind of almost it re-wets the old wash, and it doesn't really add any more wash to it. With contrast, it does darken the area. So I was thinking I might, in certain layers, like, or certain sections, do a second layer of contrast just to darken it again, but obviously it won't darken it too far, so I'm almost doing like layered base coats of contrast. It's certainly potentially my idea, but I might take it onto regular paints afterwards. I'm not entirely sure yet. I'll see how it looks after the first load. Bobby Clark, thanks. Had a good 9 hours today painting Marnie's Calgar. 9 hours painting Marnie's Calgar. Mate, with the way I paint and my ethos with painting, I'd have half an Ultramarine army done in 9 bloody hours. But then my stuff don't look like your stuff by the end of it. My stuff doesn't look like it could have trophies sat next to it and so forth, because your work's beautiful, man. Absolutely beautiful. I take it you can hear me all right. Jake, not as quick now. I'm back at work, but still going well. I do keep buying more, though. Facepalm. Yes, that is the curse of the miniatures and the hobby. I think it's something we joke about in our hobby, but it's every hobby, you know. It's all hobbies. People spend too much, you know, on not necessarily stuff they don't need, but just stuff for the hobby. Like, I've played golf, you know, and I've seen people, you know, you buy golf gadgets, or you're always looking at a different set of clubs, or this, that, and whatever. You know, it never ends, you know. And I love cooking as well, and you know, you go into some shops and there's gadgets galore for all this various cooking, and although that's something I don't subscribe to, lots of people do, you know. Every hobby's the same. They're all just trying to, there's always big corporations trying to get money out of your passion, you know. And the annoying thing is that they tend to succeed in selling us the crap we don't need, rather than us developing the crap that we have. There's a friend of mine who, whenever he sees any of my Barrow's Budgets minis, he always asks me, "Oh, have you played it yet?" I'm like, "No, I'm not really one that much for anymore for playing miniatures games. It's not really the part of the hobby I care that much about anymore." I do love playing games, and I'm a big board gamer, but I don't know, miniatures games there's an awful lot of hassle, so much hassle getting everything set up, and army lists written, or this, that, whatever, and and that's the trouble. I don't get a lot of joy out of that anymore. I never really did. I was never one who was sort of tinkering over the algorithms and thinking, oh yeah, if I, the points distribution and this, that, whatever, and whether something was worth its points, and I was always too busy wanting the cool stuff or the slightly quirky stuff that is very rarely the best stuff, Well, certainly didn't ever seem to be for me anyway. So yeah, I'm going to do very black, or sort of the very dark grey this side, and then up and around here. Come, probably out of focus on that now. I think that's a bit better. Where's that picture gone? So round under the eye and follow back from the beak. Okay. I'm surprised you even remotely want to see somebody painting, Bobby, if you've been sat there doing 9 hours of Marneus Calgar. I think a miniature is the last thing you want to see right now. Do you? I know obviously you do commission painting work, as we discussed before. Is that your job? Is that what do you make a living out of doing your commission paint work? Because if so, I'm suitably impressed. I'm impressed with anybody who can make their hobby work as a job. Talking about you, Andy. Not that you're there, but yeah, that seems about right there. I was nearly late because I completely forgot. It was one of my old housemates' birthdays today, and he was having a Zoom chat with a few of the other guys and everybody. And luckily, one of my other housemates and his best friend reminded me about 40 minutes before, so I managed to quickly jump on and wish him the best and so forth. So I was glad I didn't miss that. Bobby Clark, got a lot of friends that play and love it. These days I prefer the more chilled painting aspect. Yeah, I'm with you there, my man. This is like my unwinding, although I'm doing this with you lot now, it's more a case of you are now listening to my internal monologue rather than it just being in my head. To me, now you guys are kind of like the voices in my head. And I've just not got something on Netflix or YouTube in the background. Bobby Clark, yeah, I'm a full-time commission artist for just over 3 years now. Wow, well done you. Well bloody done. I applaud you, sir. Yeah, I must admit, I always wondered how commission artists, commission painters really managed to make it work as a full-time thing, because yeah, but I suppose there's people out there who, as much as I'm saying I don't care about the gaming, that's all they care about is the gaming. So, I suppose it's exactly the same as they'd rather pay someone such as yourself to get it done for them. So, yeah, so that makes quite a bit of sense. Bobby Clark, I enjoy watching and listening to fellow hobbyists. It's nice to see what people are up to. Yes, it is. I completely agree. Yeah. And thank you very much for watching. Jake Ward, they have the best ideas though, the head voices. Not always. I would I would hasten to say that sometimes they have shocking ideas. Clear this desk up a bit. It's a bloody mess. Does anybody have a real neat and tidy hobby desk? I mean, mine always has a general area that's pretty tidy because it's also my computer desk, extra this, that, and the other. But it's always surrounded by detritus. Bobby Clark. I've had job offers from large studios, and I'm always booked up. So there's room in the world for many more commission artists based on that. Well, that's cool. That's good to know. But there is not necessarily as many as talented as you need to be to do that stuff. So what's you said you were experimenting with some new paints, Bobby. What's your general paint? Like, are you a Vallejo guy, Army Painter, Citadel, P3, scale 75, isn't it? Is that the right number? I don't know. Arbitrary number after it. But the white contrast down, which I love this white contrast paint. I really like what it does. The German blood in me. So Bobby Clark saying, my hobby area is quite spotless these days. German blood in me. Meticulous efficiency. I like it. I want to get like one of those really good organizer sets, you know, like real nice system. I have got like a paint rack system up on my shelf. They always have it obviously like all around the desk, all around, and I do sort of like that idea, but then sometimes I think actually I'd probably prefer it along the shelf next to me and actually not have all that much on the desk near me. We're pleased to have broken 50 subscribers, you know. It ain't much, but hey, you know, the first 2 and a bit weeks, I'm happy with that. I'm quite pleased. You know, had some people share it in various places, which has been greatly appreciated. And had the odd shout out from people like Andy over at Blackjack Legacy, which is, again, hugely appreciated, you know. So it's nice to support and be supported, you know. Do you guys play any games outside, or do you like miniature ranges outside of Games Workshop? Because obviously I know you commission work. Probably, I imagine it tends to be very Games Workshop focused. I imagine just because of the popularity of the brand and people tending to want more Games Workshop. So Bobby Clark, I mostly use Citadel paints. I really like them. I'm branching into Pro Acryl. That's the ones you were talking about the other day. as there's some stronger coverage and there's some really nice colours for glazing. And then Bobby again, you'll look back on your 50 subscribers in a year's time with fondness while raking in the Patreon money. In a year's time raking in the Patreon money. You, Bobby, are not only highly efficient in your Germanness, you are highly American, by the sound of it, in your optimism. But thank you very much. That's very kind of you to say. I have one cool thing. I have just taken up a small paid position with the Dice Tower, which is quite nice. So I'm now technically, I will do it, staff member of the Dice Tower. I'm the newsletter editor. They've just started. He's just started talking about it on his various many millions of hundreds of videos, and we're just getting people to sign up for it at the moment, for the first issue to go out hopefully this week, maybe, if we've got quite a few signed up already, which is nice. But I think the first one, we'll probably go out end of this week once the numbers get up a little bit higher and we've got a reasonable audience to actually send it to. So there's no point sending it to nobody. But it's just a simple newsletter. It's going to have a highlight of a video. Jake, will that mean we can moan at you for typos? What typos? Because I definitely will have typos. Oh, on the newsletter, yes. Well, no, because I'm not actually writing too much of it. So most of it, you could definitely feed back to me any issues you have with grammar, spelling, or anything like that, and I shall pass it on to anybody who requires it. And should that person be me, I shall delete said email. So yeah, it's just a simple enough newsletter. It's going to have, just as a little editorial, little piece from Tom, just, his kind of thoughts of the week kind of thing. It'll have a highlight of the 3 Kickstarters that Tom, Mike and Z will have mentioned in their crowd surfing video that week. And then we'll highlight one of the podcasts on the network each week as well. And what else? Sponsorship from some of the bigger companies. The Op will be sponsoring the initial first few. I forget how many. And then what else are we going to have in it? A little meet the team. A little bit about the various people behind the scenes in the Dice Tower. Obviously, including the people that at the front. A little feature piece on people. Nothing huge, just and then the general news segment as well, highlighting a few news stories. But it's just a nice way to get some info out there to people. Something to read on the commute, so forth. Bobby Clark, dreams come true. I like bolt action models. Got the rulebook recently. Done a fair bit of historical Victrix model company, but mostly GW models. Yeah, I like. I don't hate historical stuff. In fact, no, I like historical stuff. I don't know where I start in that sentence like that. But I just don't play much. I play bolt action at 15 mil scale because a friend of mine developed a little game which we call Tanks, or Land of Tanks, I think we call it. Have you really just registered? yeah, he developed a game called Land of Tanks, and we all use 15mm Plastic Soldier Company range mainly, with smattering with various other model company ranges. And then we started playing Bolt of Action at 15mm, and I love it. It's some of it's the German Tiger. I think it's. I really like the scale. I think it works really well. Few of measurements. You just get so much bang for your buck when it comes to 15mm. It's one of the things I love about it. And, you know, on the basis of how I like to paint minis, it's just nice and easy. You don't have to faff about too much. Leave my little tank there. Right, so that's the 2 base layers down. Jake Ward, yep, to be honest, surprised I wasn't already. No, it's to be fair, we talked about, you know, using existing email like things that Dice Tower had, but we all came to the conclusion of like it's not fair, because it's not what people signed up for, even though they probably had agreed in whatever they signed up for that you could do that. We were like, no, we want it to be a focused targeted group that actually want to get it for whatever reason, you know. So we are setting up an entirely new thing that's all you're after for the most part. What force are you gonna Wunderbar from Bobby Clark? You are German, aren't you? What force are you thinking of painting up for then, Bobby, for your bolt action? Right. Have a look at this bad boy again. Yeah, I think I need to take him. Maybe no, contrast isn't probably the next thing to do. Having said that, it looks like these parts of the wings actually get quite black, I think. Both of those. So that section of the wing, what is that section? Is that, if it's filled in, that must be the longer tips of the wing, surely, isn't it? Yeah, it must be. Right, so now I want to find a quite orangey, sandy kind of. I don't know, maybe that flesh colour would work. Is that the right colour? Huh. That is a thought. I was initially thinking a light brown for that, but I think for that more, for this colour, I think actually a sort of flesh washy kind of colour is maybe the better thing. Anybody else out there saying hello? Have I missed anything? No, don't think so. Dark Oath Flesh. Let's have a look at that. Okay, I've not even opened this one. Stalingrad Russians. Oh yeah, Bobby Clark. So yeah, he's going to be doing some Stalingrad Russians, perfect for resin urban bases. Yeah, damn right. Dark. Ooh, that's not bad. That's not bad at all. Dark Oath Flesh. Okay. We got Pyre Slayer flesh. Which I also think won't... Oh no, looks like I have opened that one before. That's a bit... It's not quite as orangey. Yeah, so I think we're still on Dark Oath flesh at the moment. How do you... Bobby, being as a talented man as you are, how do you feel about contrast paints? I mean in a you using them sense. Do you use them? I don't you know. Do you find use for them? Are they any use to you in what you do? Is it Dark Oath flesh or is it Gullum flesh? Or is it? Huh. I might start with the Dark Oath one. Oh yeah, yes, I like that. I like this a lot. This is nice. Yeah. Yeah, even if it's not maybe quite the right orangey brown, it's still nice. I think it will work. Yeah, okay, right. Right. You and me, Bobby, sound like we both have a passion for good basing of minis. Bases and faces, as they say. Having said that, I now quite woefully neglect faces. I often don't bother doing eyes anymore and various things like that. I can't be doing with it. First lot, thicker patch. Okay, yeah. I am happy. Happy. That started off just about right, I think. I tell you, right, I have the utmost respect for sculptors. I've tried several times over the years to sculpt a mini, you know. I've always tried to squig, because it seems like a reasonable place to start. You know, it's essentially a ball with a row of teeth and an arsehole, basically. But it's just not something I can do. I don't have that talent in me, unfortunately. Bobby Clark, referencing my contrast paints question. I do use contrast paints, but not over the grey seal or wraithbone like GW suggest. I use them thinned to tint areas with already painted while creating a pin wash in the gaps. Oh, okay. Huh. Okay, right. That's to be fair, I think that's one of the cool things about contrast is I'm using them very much in their kind of intended sense right now. But yeah, I've used them in that kind of way as well. Doesn't like I've used it quite as precisely as you have, but I have used them in a kind of wash sort of focus as well. I think they work really, really well like that. I'm going to go with his talons and his beak. I'm going to go with the quite stark yellow that I saw on one of the sparrowhawks, because I just think it'd be nice. It'd pop out a little bit and give it a little bit of in amongst the muted feathers. Bobby Clark again. I use some as washes for skin, also over metals. I also use them in my airbrush to shade. Yeah, exactly. And they are just like, I mean, they really are just washes. That's essentially all they are. Sort of wash slash. They're not glazes, are they? Because they pull to the edges, whereas glazes don't pull to the edges. Am I right in thinking? Hello, Mr. Summers. What are you painting? I am painting, my man, the large raptor. Focus on it here for you. The large raptor for the Burrows and Badgers range. I am going for a sparrowhawk motif, a la this little puppy. This sort of thing I'm looking at. And yes, I am going to try and attempt markings somewhere in the region of that. Tony Howe, evening, just hop back after providing tech support for the other half. I'm very, very lucky. I have a very beautiful house, lovely house with my wife, my 2 kids, and then an annex which has my mum and dad in it. They are not at annex, granny flat age, but they spend a lot of time in France, so blah blah blah. Made a lot of sense that they did this. So I provide so much damn tech support in this house, it is ridiculous. I'm always fixing or figuring out an iPad, a laptop. This won't charge, an Alexa won't work. I can't get my phone to unlock. It's just one thing after a bloody another. It is unbelievable. I wonder how these people live in the 21st century sometimes. Don't tell her I said that though, or any of them. Right. Wow, those lines are super, super thin. I fear I'm about to take the bite that was too much for me to chew. I'm about to do it. How are you, Summers? How's your new little lady in your life doing? It's just each wing has like it's not a line, it's this might take a while. Okay, right, so it's working though, it's working. Can you see that alright? Let's get out of bloody focus again. I'm going to change this camera at some point. This camera will probably get swapped to this camera because it's actually better than this one over here. But I want something I can zoom in on, because you don't need all of this crap round here. You just want to see this. So I want something that can maybe autofocus as well, which would be handy. Nothing fancy, just something a bit better than a decent webcam. Alright, okay, yeah, that's coming off alright. What is it saying? Unable to connect to chat. Please try again later. Easy to send me dick. Am I literally just about to experience a technical problem, having just mentioned bloody technical problems? That'd be ironic. Alright. Think 1 second here, people. Alright. Right, so I can see. The last thing I can see is Tony Howe saying lol, but I can see that you said, Matt Summers, good luck with that. Yeah, thank you, buddy. Tony Howe. Yeah, how do I press play on the DVD play machine? Yes, exactly. Nonsense like that, Tony. Matt Self's bloody nightmare. Bobby Clark. I sound just like your parents when it comes to tech. One reason doing a YouTube channel would probably break me. Trust me, Streamlabs is not something that is intuitive. Streamlabs sucks a lot of the time. It says I can't connect to the chat, but I have literally no idea how to how to do anything about that. Why can't you connect to the chat? I'm still live. That's all fine. Bobby Clark, well, I used to work in the industry, so I'm a default go-to guy. Right, yeah. Huh. That is odd. Will that work? Ha ha! Ha ha! Okay, right. So if I make it a pop-out chat window, it works for some reason. So that's what we'll run with. And if anything, that's bigger and slightly easier because I don't need to see YouTube Studio. Yeah, working Streamlabs with YouTube Studio. So essentially, if you don't know what Streamlabs or anything this is like, so right, this is my screen up here. So this is Streamlabs, right? So this is essentially a studio, Streamlabs OBS, which is online broadcasting system. So everything on this side here, on the left, that is what that's to come. So that's if I wanted to set up something here to transition, I would set it up on this one, right? And then this is what's currently happening. And then this is all the various things within it, which we're on now. And then, so if I wanted to change to something else on this side, or sorry, so if I wanted to get ready to end the stream, I could bring up stream ended and then have it ready to go, and then press transition and it would click across. And then, yeah, and then I have over here on this screen, it's probably quite hard to see, that's YouTube Studio. And the first time I streamed, I'd pressed, because it's all changed, YouTube Studio's upgraded since I was doing the live streams with Dan from Sporadically Bored. I was doing live streams with Dan, so I was doing the whole OBS thing from my end. And you just loaded it into, he gave me the stream key, blah, 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 for his channel. I loaded it into OBS and I just pressed go when we were ready. But they changed it so that on the YouTube Studio, you press go on OBS, and then it feeds it to YouTube Studio. But what I didn't realise, you then had to press go live on YouTube Studio. So it was like, oh, it was just one bloody thing after another. It was ridiculous. You know. We got Bobby Clark at Tony Howe. Do you live near me, or could you do house visits? You'd earn a fortune. You're drumming up some business, Tony. Right, so I don't need to see that now. That's fine. Go away, me. It's retirement central. Well, I live just down the road from a place called Downham Market, which is a nice little old market town. But it is, I call it the village of the damned, because it's just full of old people, bless them. Old people just waiting to die. Yeah. It's got a subway in it, which I think is the least busy subway on the face of the earth. So I don't think most of the residents of Downham Market would have a clue what on earth they would even get from there. Bobby Clark. At Tony Howe, damn, that's like Narnia to me up in Northumberland. Okay, yeah, that's looking all right. It's not come out too badly. What I haven't been able to kind of really convey is that the wings on the legitimate one. Matt Summers, have you kickstarted any games recently? So I will be kickstarting Ankh by Mr. Lang. I did kickstart a game. I've kickstarted a bunch at like a $1 or whatever, just so I can get into the pledge manager at a later date. If I think it looks as good as I think it might at this point. I have also backed Hell from Mythic Battles. For Tony Howe, be right back. You just need to nip to the beer shop. It's 10 seconds away. Oh, you lucky beggar. That's the dream for my man, Mr. Matt Summers, on the thing. What else have I backed? Yeah. I'll tell you. Oh yeah, I'm very tempted to back Nemesis as well, or in fact more likely I will back Nemesis. I'm going to back Kemet Blood and Sand as the upgrade. I'm very likely to back this as well, War of Whispers. It looks like a really interesting game. This one I'm backing for sure. It's from Redgrass Gaming, ergonomic painting handles. So it's like these, but they're just much nicer. Oh yeah, Capital Lux 2. That's essentially an extension of a game I played at Aircon. Really nice little card game that my mate Marcus showed me. And then I've got Chronicles of Crime, the Millennium series, which I'm really looking forward to. And then I've got Super Fantasy Brawl coming eventually. Delayed as always, as all mythics seem to be now, regardless of COVID-19. Hey ho. So yes, to answer your question, Matt, yes, I have. They're not all definites, but there's a few very definites in there. It was obviously with everything going on, I wasn't entirely confident about backing anything, you know. But you know, I was thinking of the money I'm going to earn from working for the Dice Tower now. I was going to essentially put it into like a little hobby fund, just to fund little projects. I was thinking of basically putting half of it into a hobby fund for me, and then half into like Christmas present and birthday present fund for the kids, you know, stuff like that. Just try and be at least borderline sensible with it, you know. We're not talking about a lot of money, but you know, it's still money. It's not terrible, to be fair. Right, where's that next line? The tips of this line. Matt Summers, can't wait for a game of Super Fantasy Brawl. Did Helia back that as well? Working for the Dice Tower. Yes, Summers. So yeah, I've just taken on a small paid position with the Dice Tower. I'm the new newsletter editor, which is cool. Did Helia back Steve? I think Steve Hewitt did, and I want to say Helia did. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he did. You had to double check with him. Because you haven't played it, have you, Matt? Because we only played it obviously because we were at the UK Games Expo, demoed it. But I've obviously the fact that you know Hellier was even remotely in the mix for it means that I must have obviously talked to you about it, because you definitely will like it, Matt. It's a really cracking game. It's an absolute banging game. It's I think it'll probably kill. I don't play a lot of Warhammer Underworlds now anyway, but I still pick up the war bands that I think they're cool. In fact, there's a few of those I need to pick up actually that I haven't got yet. But yeah, I won't. I don't see myself playing it much once I've got Super Fantasy Brawl, because you don't have to do any of the deck building and stuff like that. And like I was saying earlier, deck building isn't really something I hugely gravitate towards. I don't know why, but there's something about putting in that much effort to sort of thwart my enemy. I don't know. It doesn't seem to sit well with me. I don't know if that's. No, I'm happy to beat them when the game is on. That I don't mind all that. It's the sort of slightly underhanded, like, oh yeah, that'll. He won't see that coming when I send it up against his whatever force, and that'll thwart his. Yeah, I don't know. Something about min-maxing and deck building. I just find it all a bit. Nah. Yeah, you will really like it, Summers. You'll really. Sorry, Summers saying no, but Googled it. Congratulations on Dash. Well, thank you very much, buddy. But yes, you Googled it, and yeah, you'll love it, mate. You'll really enjoy it. It really it kind of blew me and Hellier and Steve sideways when we played it. We're like, oh yeah, this is good. Okay, yeah. Yeah, it's coming out all right, actually. Bobby, the Marnius Calgar you were talking about earlier, is that a commission job or a for you job? Yeah. Yeah, I think his markings have come out not too bad. Yeah. Yeah. Not bad. Not bad. I'll put this chat back and see if it's connected again for some reason. Still unable to connect now. Weird. Oh, no. Don't stop. How very, very odd. Who knows? Maybe Tony can come and sort it out for me when he gets back. Bobby Clark, it's commission the second to last model for the Ultramarine Army, close to finishing. So how many like points is this Ultramarine Army you've been doing a commission for? What's it like when you get a commission job and you're like, oh, I hate that miniature, or oh, I don't like painting that colour scheme or that? Do you get that very often? Is that a thing? Yay, Tony Howard. Yay, I'm back. And just about to paint up some more of Jesse James from Wild West Exodus. Nice. Look forward to seeing what you've done, sir. Yellow. Huh. And in yellow. Or the Nasdrag yellow. To which one to do? Where is the Nasdrag yellow? Where is it? Where has it gone? Where has it gone? Ah, Nasdrag. Right. I think. Which one? Yeah, I'll go Nasdrag. Nasdrag yellow it is. Yeah, made the right choice. Thank goodness for that. Holy dogs, what's it? Bobby Clark just over 6,000 points of Ultramarines. I just say no if I don't want to do a commission. I need to have my heart into my paint. Yeah, no, I absolutely agree with that. One of the things you often see recommended, 6,000 points, man. Bloody hell, that's ridiculous. That's huge. 6,000 points. Even by GW standards, that's still a lot of bloody plastic. What was I about to say? Yeah. One of the things people often say when, like, people are saying, "Oh, I think I want to get into painting. What should I do?" You almost always on a Facebook thread, somebody will say, "Oh yeah, go get a load of cheap minis from like Reaper Bones or whatever. Just a load of stuff that you could slap some paint on to have a go." And I always say, like, although yes, there is some merit to that, actually go and get something you like the look of. You know, don't break the bank, obviously, but get some minis you actually like the look of, because you have got to. You've got to look at the mini. It's got to do something for you. You know, you can't just paint it for the hell of it. You know, it's got to tick a box for you. You know, it's got to inspire you. 6,000 points. Shit the bed. That is nuts. Yeah, see, I just don't think I have any interest in painting that size of a force anymore. Even a third of that size of a force. Tony Howell, I had a bash at commission about 15 years back and hated it for the reasons that you mentioned, Luke, and the pressure. Yeah. I did for a little while. I was one of those people on eBay who was pro painter. Some of the stuff I used to love looking up on eBay, pro painting, and you're like, wow, that's not pro painting at all. But to be fair, this was back when I was probably the best I've ever been at painting and put a lot more effort, you know. But yeah, I put on and I would literally just paint some models. I just bought some models that I was like, that's really cool, I really want to paint that model, and then put them on eBay. I remember selling the Ogre Hunter. I remember selling it to a guy in, I think it was in Sydney or Melbourne. I sold it for an absolute song, you know. And I only probably did that, I don't know, for about 8 or 9 miniatures. But yeah, it was nice. I always made a profit off them. But it was, like I said, I only did it for ones that I was like, oh, I really want to paint that, but I have zero use for it. Annoyingly, I'd actually quite like an ogre army now, because I really like the fantasy ogres. So I'd quite like that ogre hunter that I did, because I did a nice job on him. Where did I get to? Yeah, Matt Summers, 6,000 points. That's mental. Damn right it is. Absolutely mental. Bobby Clark, I specialise in army-sized commissions. It's my niche. No, Bobby. 2,000 points was an army. 6,000 points is a detachment, a legion, or 6,000 points is more than a pissing army. But well done you. Tony Howell, that's mental. I'll struggle with a kill team. Lol. Yes. Yeah. Matt Summers, that would take me a lifetime. How long did that take you? Bobby Clark, it's taken about 9 weeks. 9 weeks, 9 weeks. I don't know. I mean, I would imagine you're probably charging a pretty good amount of money for that. So, maybe that's, yeah. Maybe I can see the possibilities then in the commission painters, as long as you know how to value your time and effort, which you've been doing it for 3 years, you obviously do. Good for you. Tony Howe, agreed, Luke. You have to like the minis and want to paint them. Yeah, absolutely you do. There's nothing worse than when you like when you're painting an army. There's often like a unit that you need to have it in because it's a really good unit for whatever reason, or maybe you just don't like that unit, the look of it and the style of it. It does suck when you get to having to paint that, Cool. Bobby Clark, I've met many of my clients face to face. When you see the joy in their eyes, it's all the motivation you need. I absolutely bet it is. Yeah, because you don't want to post that 6,000 point 9 week project, do you? No. Bobby Clark, I agree. You've got to enjoy what you're painting. It encourages you to do a better job at it and hopefully learn a few things along the way. Absolutely. If like there's a range of wolves in the Reaper Bones mini range that they cost £1 a pop, or even better, or there's like some spiders or some other generic beast that you actually happen to really like the minis, they're brilliant. Have at it. That's a great place to test your work. But just picking up any old model for the sake of it is not it's not the way to go, I don't think, anyway. It's certainly not for me anyway. At least I suppose for some people they can make that work. But I wouldn't do it for me. You know what, Tony? Yes, this mini swap thing we're doing is really, really good, and I'm looking forward to sending you my effort, and I've really enjoyed it. I definitely want to do another one. It's a real nice exercise. I'm looking forward to seeing what other people have done. I haven't looked in the group to see if anybody else has posted up their efforts. Tony Howe, I love doing the mini swap. That was a huge fun and would do it again. Even gift them out, but I prefer to paint and hobby for the love of it these days. Yeah, absolutely. I'm to be fair though, I mean that's a bit disingenuous for me to say that, because obviously now I'm a big time YouTuber, so I'm really in it, and don't tell my wife, but I'm in it for the women and the money, and they're just flooding in right now. So yeah, it's all going good. The the YouTube minis painted groupies. They're a special breed. I have to have a special burner phone and everything so my wife doesn't find out. It's quite hectic. Tony, Sarah Pryor, lol. Oh, that's beautiful. Thank you, sweetheart. You couldn't have timed that better. Oh, that's why I love my wife. That was beautiful. Nailed it. Right, so I'll just put in another bit of the darker, the Basilicum grey on some of these top feathers, because I want slightly darker shade at the front with the wings to be lighter grey towards the back. Bowie Clark, Matt Summers, haha, brilliant. Tony Howe, laugh my ass off, you got me hooked, hot buns. Are you my YouTube groupie, Tony? Is that who you are? Am I doing any good at keeping this in? Oh, roughly in shot. I think I've actually raised that up. That's probably why. Right, there we go. Now, is it in focus? No. There we go. Right. More in there. Sorry, I meant to suddenly stop talking then. I was just focusing. What would everybody's dream hobby project be? Would it be an army you would wish you'd done, like a table of terrain you'd always wish you'd done, or whatever? Would always love to do, or whatever? Has anybody got any dreams? I'll tell you what mine would be. I have a game that I absolutely love, a board game called Chaos in the Old World, which is by Mr. Eric Lang, as I mentioned earlier, with Ankh, and it's one of my favourite games. And for those of you that haven't played Chaos in the Old World, it's an asymmetrical game, area control, and sort of point scoring. What's the best way to describe it? So yeah, area control. And you each play one of the Chaos Gods, and there is an expansion to have the Horned Rat as one of the gods as well as a fifth player, or just, as one of the four, leaving one of them out. And you have to either be the first to get to 50 points and over, or the first to turn a dial, and then each army turns its dial in a different way. As you turn the dial, you get various upgrades. But also eventually it gets to a point of Nurgle wins or Khorne wins or whatever. So for instance, Khorne turns the dial when they perform 2 attacks in a round or something like that. And they're all thematic to who they are. And then each, obviously excels in areas that... one of the reasons it's one of my dream hobby projects would be the board is supposed to be tanned human stretched skin, which this sort of map is scrawled into. And I thought it'd be like, not necessarily, but so like instead of a tanned human skin, but to make a real big, slightly 3D relief map board for the thing, but much slightly scale it up size. And then also all of the minis, because all of the minis that they have, they're all very, very little. They're only, yay big. On the basis of, end of the paintbrush. Some of the littlest ones are not much bigger than that. So like for the Khorne, you have blood letters as your base unit, and then so you have your cultists, blood letters as the sort of specialised demon, and then you have your greater demon. I thought it'd be awesome to have essentially all the units on the board are the actual, now Age of Sigmar equivalent mini, and you just have this huge big cool board with greater demons and cultists all over the place. It just looks so cool. That's always one of my dream hobby projects, which I absolutely will never get to and really have no intention of ever getting to, but it would be bloody cool if you did. Right, so let's darken them up in patches. I think I need to use the black. Yeah. So have you guys got any dream hobby project you just wish you could get to? Oh, I can't believe Sarah did that. That was fabulous. So fabulous. Darker around some of the form of the bird body, just accentuate some of the shape of the bird. Said I'm going kind of Sparrowhawk themed, but plenty of artistic license. No need to be too perfect. In fact, probably best. So Tony Howe, my absolute dream fantasy build would be in the entirety of the floor plan plus funky terrain for an old first edition AD&D Sinister Secret of Saltmarsh. So I take it that's a quite sort of famous D&D setting. I don't know D&D crazy well. So yeah, I take it that's a well-known realm, as it were, in D&D, is it? Probably in Forgotten Realms, is it? Or that's cool. That sounds cool. I suppose, I'm in my mind, I'm always thinking big. Like, what's your dream thing? Big, really big. But I suppose it doesn't even necessarily have to be a big thing, does it? It could very easily be something much smaller, where you're so inclined, at least. Bobby Clark, I'd love to do a hobby project with my girlfriend. We both love Lord of the Rings. She's smaller, looks like a hobbit. Bless her. A diorama in the Shire would be great. She's a skilled doll's house maker too. Ah, cool, very cool. My mum's I get a lot of my love for this sort of thing, I think, from certainly my mum's mindset. She's big. She does doll's house stuff. she's done some stuff that just blows my mind. She's done like a French charcuterie, which is butchers for those who don't know any French. And she made out of das and stuff. She made all of the joints of meat, all of the things, stuff hanging in the charcuterie. Just so much attention to detail. She makes tills. I mean, the other day, I don't even know particularly what it was for, but she came through and she made an ironing board and feather duster, and it was awesome. You know, she's done such a good job on it. Super talented. She's an amazing watercolor artist as well. Yeah. My mum is super talented. I'm very proud of the stuff my mum produces. I think I'm getting that about where I want it. A bit more shade into the tail. It seems too light a grey. That's a bit better, yeah. Okay, I'm happy with that now. Yeah. Bobby Clark, I like the scenery I spied on your my last stream. Yeah, my Burrows and Badgers bits. As you ask, Bobby, I'll let you have a look again. I'm quite proud of them, so I'm quite happy to show them off. I'm going to do some videos on them, but I wanted to kind of do them first, and then. So, ooh, this is the Mouse Castle, or Folly, that I made. So yeah, if you're looking to do a Shire thing, you've definitely got the same sort of mindset as me. So I use lots of natural things that I've literally gone and got from out in the wilderness. Not all of it, but then lots of it's, you know, flock and scenic stuff. I'm always getting stuff from train retail, train hobby stuff. The store that I went to that had opened again today was a place, City Cycle Centre in Ely, and they've got a really good. Yeah, I was really pleased with this house. I just got all the things I had in my mind. It came out really well. I know it's not quite as big as some people think it should be, but like I said before, it's more tip of the iceberg. There's more going on underneath here, in my mindset at least. But what I wanted was it to be partially built, partially underground. But this was actually something really important to me, was to get this right, was the overhang. That was something in my mind that was very specific to it. You know, so it wasn't. It had to be in the ground, like slightly embedded in it. Yeah, and I'm really pleased with how this one came out for. You know, when you have something in your head, like little things like this, like the chimney stack coming straight out of the hilltop. You know, when you have something in your head and you're like, oh yeah, I think I can do that. I think I've got all of the right methods in my mind as to how to pull that off. And then sometimes you do those things and you're like, oh no, that's not as simple as I thought, because you hit some sort of, you know, roadblock, and it doesn't quite work out as you were planning. But this house, literally, it came out exactly as I had it in my mind. Exactly. You know, it's not actually, technically, this one, it's not quite finished. I'm still debating as to what I will do about the window. I probably will basically just black the window in, or sort of just shade it like, essentially like reflecting glass. But what I would actually quite like to do... Crabby Vision, hello sir. How are you, sir? Tony Howe, Luke, your Burrows and Badgers work is amazing. I love it. Thank you very much, sir. That's very kind of you to say. What I actually really quite like to do with this window, and the main reason I haven't done anything with it yet, is I quite like to do like a little basic stained glass. Not like fancy like a cathedral or anything, but just like a leaded crossed hatch window that has coloured panels in it. And I just hadn't decided how to go about doing that yet. But yeah, it's something I am just super happy with. And yeah, like I said, it's when you go to do something and you've got it in your head, and you've had it in your head for a long time. It's hang on, sorry, just go quickly send my mate a message. Right, what was I saying? Yeah, when you just have that thing in your head and you're like, oh, just, and I had it in my head for so long, I had planned it, and yeah, and it just came out exactly as I planned it, and that just so satisfying, because I've done many projects, which admittedly I probably hadn't planned or had in my head for as long as I had, but they certainly didn't come out as I intended. So, hello, Crabby Vision. How you doing, my man? Bobby Clark, Crabby Vision. Hello. Tony Howe, you absolutely got it spot on. You're like me. You build a mental image and go with it. Yeah, completely. Crabby Vision, very good, mate. Hope you're well. Yes, I am very well, my man. Very well. Yeah, all good. Bobby Clark, your attention to detail, natural looking things and vegetation is great. Not something I'm good at yet. It's the thing I seem, not even remotely trying to sound arrogant, I think it's the thing I'm best at. As in, not as in the world, but as in, of my things I'm good at, it's the place I excel the most. I'm quite good at natural colours and natural palettes. When stuff gets bright and cartoony, I don't tend to be as good at it. I don't feel as happy with the end product. I'm not entirely sure why that is. I think maybe that's another reason I really like Burrows and Badgers, because I really like the natural tones and general nature of it. Right, I'm a little bit stuck as to where I'm going to take. I think I might do a white highlight on the bit in between, just to get them to pop a bit more. I think that's definitely the next step. Definitely the next step. Crabby Vision doing his hellos. What are you working on at the moment, mate? You got any? I bet it's something marine based. Or at least 40k based, won't it be? Yeah, bloody. So, this is so annoying. Look at that. Why has that done that? It's infuriating. Right. Where am I starting? Oh yeah, that's what I'm looking for. That's what I want. Yes, yes. Win. We have a win. I hate. Well, I don't know. Right. How about you guys? I'm so predictable. Not necessarily. It's just that's what I've seen that you do a lot of. You could probably be fairly predictable with me and Burrows and Badgers stuff. You do what you do and you do what you like. So that's it. Yeah, what was I going to say? Yeah, what's the bit everybody hates most when you're painting a mini? Mine is kind of a little bit the stage I'm at the minute, where I'm at that mid stage where I'm just a bit like, okay, right, so I've done base coats and the basics, and I kind of got the ball rolling. Where do I go next? Sometimes you just hit that little bump where you're just like, oh, hang on a minute. You know, something hasn't gone quite as you expected it to, maybe. It's thrown you for a loop a little. And that was what I was slightly sat here with this. So I was quite glad, Bobby, that you distracted me by mentioning my Burrows and Badgers terrain, which allowed me to settle and regroup for a second. Yeah, that's better, just picking out a little bit of extra white. And this, just bringing that white back. Because the contrast white is awesome, but it really isn't white. It's essentially a great base for a white highlight, and it's basically a light grey, a very, very light grey. Tony Howell, nothing arrogant about that, buddy. You've just reached a point where you can recognise your strength. That's good, and I can't fault it. Thank you very much, mate. Thank you very much. Crabbevision, Necropolis Hawks Squad Lieutenant. Say that 5 times when you're drunk. And Ancient at the minute. Got a Dreadnought to finish off as well, so been working on the basis. So a Necropolis Hawks. So right, Necropolis Hawks is the army. Yeah, so that's that's a Marine army. I take it. Is that a made up one, or is that your one? I don't ever remember that name, but it's a badass name, whoever it is. And an Ancient. What's an Ancient? Bobby Clark, what brushes do you recommend? I'm after some good ones that aren't as expensive as Winsor & Newton's. I tend to use Winsor & Newton's, Winsor & Newton Cotman's. Although, to be fair, I've got these Daler and Rowney Aquafine. I've used these. This is what I've been using this all night, actually. That's all right, to be fair. I've literally no idea where I got them from. When I had them, when I went to use it the other night, I thought it was a Winsor & Newton, until I looked closer and realised it wasn't. I don't find Winsor & Newton Cotman's that expensive. See you later, Matt. Take care, buddy. Crabby Vision. Blocking in colours can be repetitive for me. Yeah, I know what you mean. Doing those base coats. Yeah. Bobby Clark. I hate mould lines. They're the bane of my life. Preach. Amen, brother. Yeah, I'm with you there, mate. Yeah, just. And I tell you what, it's got that stupid thing where, like, I often can't be asked to take mould lines off. You know, I'm not anal enough about it. Not to much of it. That's to make out that it's an anal pursuit. It's not an anal pursuit. It's something you really, really should do. But I'm not fastidious enough. That's the better way of putting it. And the amount of times, though, I go and I think, right, come on, take the mould lines off, go get all the flashing off, blah, blah, blah. And the amount of times I do it, and then I prime the model, I'm just starting to paint, and I suddenly go, there's a bloody mould line there. I end up missing them. Tony Howell, when you get priming wrong, and it's like painting over a block of lard, I'm very lucky, and I'll touch wood. I just haven't had one of those priming fiascos that you often see, like people who've like they've had like the army painter spray that's come out like bloody sandpaper, like some textured paint, or you know, and stuff like that. I'm not even sure if I've ever had one. So I'm bloody lucky in that sense. I'm really using the wrong brush for what I was trying to do there, so I'm changing brush. Not entirely sure I have the right brush for what I want to do, but this one isn't it. Whatever. No, I really don't think I do have the right brush. But this one is going to have to do... this is not the brush I'm looking for. This is not the brush you're looking for, young man. Crabby Vision. It's one Darren Latham made up, and the Ancient is the big banner holding to... Ah, cool. Right, okay. I don't know Darren Latham. That name doesn't ring a bell. But whoever he is, he makes up cool names for marine armies. Because Necropolis Hawks is cool. It's very metal. Ah! So yes, this is not the brush this is not the brush I should be doing this with. I'm going to make it work. Now, if you could see a little wing-to-wing comparison, but that's helped it quite a bit. I feel. I tell you what amazes me is the difference in what I'm looking at and what I can see you lot looking at. It's quite amazing, because it really is. It doesn't matter how much you change white balance and this, that, whatever, it just always comes out so different. Yeah, see, that looks like a real mess on that picture, but I assure you it's not nearly as messy as it looks in real life. Sorry, it's not as messy. It looks better in real life, I mean. Now, I'll swap it back. That brush is... I'm going to muck it up doing that. I was better off with the one I had. Bobby Clark. I hate varnish spray cans when they frost over your model. I drop to my knees and scream like I'm in full platoon. Again, that's not one I've had, but I've seen it, and I mean, yeah, who wouldn't? Different Gear TV. Hello, mate. How are we? Good eves. I weren't counting listening to no eves. I weren't dropping no eves, sir. Let's try that again. In fact, I intended to go and get a bunch more brushes today, but the art store that is near the hobby store that I did successfully go to was not open. I think I got the impression they are going to be open, because it looked like they were having a delivery in as we were starting to make our way back home, but they currently weren't open, and obviously this was the second day of them potentially being able to be open, so hopefully they shall return, because I think because I'm doing this obviously so much more often, I suppose I've got to care a little bit more, and be a little bit more, in life with things like this. I'm far more slapdash, and I don't worry so much about things, but you know what mates are like, they'll always tell you everything looks great. But the internet is a fickle mistress, and I don't want internet trolls being mean to me. Kind of looking forward to getting my first troll. You made it when you get a troll, I think. Everybody's saying hello to everybody, which is nice. Darren is a GW mini design painter. Check his stuff out. Very accomplished and a sound guy. Cool. I will do. Will do. Different Gear TV. Late in. Never too late, mate. Never too late. Tony Howe. A little late to be trimming the verge, isn't it, Master Samwise? A little bit late to be trimming the verge, isn't it, Mr. Samwise? We ain't been dropping no eaves, sir. Fool of a took. Okay, yeah, right. I'm happy with that now. That's brought that white where it needed to be. Yeah, nice. Nice. Okay. What have you been working on lately, Different Gear TV? Anything interesting? Drinking a vape. Sorry. Has anybody in the chat painted any boroughs and badges before? Or thought about it? Or well, I got 4 likes on my video. Very nice. Thank you for everybody whoever liked it. I'm not sure what the benefit is to all this likes and smash that like button, subscribe, blah blah blah, ding my bell, all that nonsense. I suppose if I want to take this anywhere, I'll have to stop doing all that nonsense as well. You got those voices spot on, Luke. Different Gear TV. Sometimes the odd troll can be entertaining, at least at first. Soon turns sour, though. Yes, I bet it does. Bobby Clark, they're definitely on my wish list. Well, boroughs and badges, yeah. Yeah, they're just awesome. They're just so cool. If you like Wind in the Willows with aggression, you know. Toot toot. Oh, of course, Different Gear TV. You were working on your all your Minute Walking Dead stuff last time, weren't you? Minimal Walking Dead stuff this evening. Just about finished the Here's Negan set now. Apart from some bloodstains and then a matte varnish. Lost my hobby flow recently. Well, we all lose it from time to time, that's for sure. I lost it for a good few years at one point. Yeah, in fact, a very, very good few years. Right, I need to bring the brown up a bit. What do I want to bring the brown up a little bit with? Tony Howe bought a rat, a mole, and a badger and a toad, going full on Wind in the Willows. Good man. Did you have you bought them from Oathsworn, like those their versions? Because there is a. My mate never replied to me actually as to the set that he bought. That was it was essentially a Wind in the Willows set. They were themed much more. No, that's not what I'm after. That's too light. Huh. I might get away with that. Wind of the Willows. Yeah, Tony Howe, Wind of the Willows for boroughs and badges. Yeah. Yeah, because you can, from what Oathsworn make, you can certainly do a Wind of the Willows set. They do toads and frogs and stuff, and moles and and badgers and rats. So yeah. Okay, to dry brush that on. I'll try and show you in a minute some of the ones I've got next for burrows and badgers that I haven't primed up yet, because I've got a mole mini that I bought in the Kickstarter. I bought about, I don't know, 5 or 6 minis that I particularly liked, and yeah, they're great. And one of them is a little mole who is just breaking up through his molehill, and he's got like a melted candle on his like little miner's helmet. He's such a cool little mini. He's just great. And I bought the mole blacksmith model they have because he's really cool. I was thinking that one of the next bits of burrows and badgers terrain I want to do more of the like just sort of general subterranean houses that are very kind of essentially the Hobbit houses in my head. You know, same sort of style. Just mix up the shapes and sizes and stuff like that. But the one I want to do some mole ones, but I'm going to do them so they're like hills. So it's almost like a house that's been made out of a molehill. I'm still figuring it out in my head. And then I'm going to do a few that are like out of tree roots, so like the base of a tree, like the they almost look a bit like little fairy pixie houses or something like that, as you might see. Yeah, I've got lots of ideas for burrows and badgers stuff, and I was thinking and also like a tree-based one, but again it's a nest, but it's obviously so like I'm almost imagining like it's a nest around the outside, but then it's got like a roof on the top, so almost ends up looking kind of like a lookout tower, but you can see what it's supposed to be, what it would be if it were just a normal animal, but it's got the more human bits added to it. This is the reason that burrows and badgers just lit the fire under my hobby arse again, because it just got me thinking so many, got my creative juices flowing, as it were. Not that you need to know anything about my flowing juices. But yeah, it really lit the fire under my hobby arse, as I say. Okay, yeah. Really, I'm not, I haven't really given it any thought yet. I'm really not sure what I'm doing with these armour. Different Gear TV. This evening I ordered a scale model kit from Revel. Just fancied something to change things up in between minis. You know what? I was in my, it's not a hobby store, but they have a big hobby section. It's a real old school store that has a haberdashery section. You don't get a lot of haberdashery anymore. It's got like a toy shop, it's got a haberdashery bit, it's got a DIY bit, it's got the bike bit, where you can get bikes fixed and buy very expensive bikes, bikes of all sorts. And then it's got the hobby section, which is loads of model railway stuff, loads of scale modelling stuff, and then some basically Games Workshop stuff. But he also has like Black Seas, which is where I bought Black Seas from. Has a bit of X-Wing and a few other smatterings of stuff, and a nominal amount of Games Workshop stuff. Nothing much, but I've always tried to support them because they're a local store for local people. I don't know what I was saying. Yeah, but I was in there today, and because I've got this new airbrush, and I was thinking, maybe. A scale model wouldn't be a terrible place for me to start getting the hang of my airbrush. But I didn't look too hard at it. I might go Might go back again in the next few days and give that a bit more of a closer look. Yeah, I really don't know what I'm going to do with his armour. I'm not sure what colours I want to do it. I think I'll know better once I've done all of him or her. I think technically I've done it with the markings of a female sparrowhawk, I believe. Not entirely sure. I need to check that. I wonder if that chat's fixed itself now. No, it hasn't. That's weird. That is something I shall have to Google later. Crabby Vision. I really fancy building a World War II Tiger tank diorama. There's a scene in Kelly's Heroes that I really want to replicate. Ooh, now you mentioned Tiger tank. Look, there's my Tiger. Nearly knocked over the bed. Little 15mm Tiger. Badass tank that it was. That's 15mm range from Plastic Soldier Company, PSC. I love them. I'm sure in a scale modeler sense they're probably okay, you know, but in a what I want to do sense they're bloody fantastic. Like today, I nearly picked up another set today because I saw they had in that shop they had a 15mm British paratroopers box, and I've got like a British troop and a German troop. And say like I played bolt action with it, and I was saying about how cheap it was. Well, in that British paratroopers box, it was 144 minis for 22 quid. And on the basis, you know, I use them as like individuals. It's just, I mean, the value for money is through the roof. Right, need to bring up the yellow. Right, I think I want to slightly bring it up in orange almost. No, not that. Nice, I want a larger scale one. Mark II, sorry, Crabby Vision. Where did I get to? Sorry. Tony Howell, at Crabby Vision, a classic film. I remember seeing it at the cinema. Bloody hell. Aging yourself there a bit, Tony. Different Gear TV. Exactly my thought, actually. I figured it'd be good to airbrush the car body with it. Currently only using it for priming. Yeah, I see myself initially using it mainly for priming my new airbrush. Graver is nice. I want a large scale one. Fair enough, obviously. Mark II, I think, was the one I was looking at. I couldn't tell you what was Mark II, Mark whatever. Graver at Tony Howell, one of my all-time favourite movies, mate. Yeah, Kelly Heroes is an absolute classic. Am I holding it? Yeah, roughly in the right place. It's a bit hard for me to see from where I am, but is what I'm doing even remotely in focus, if it even matters to you? Ba, 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 ba. It's a bit knackered, that brush. Tony Howell. Mine too. That and some of the vintage horror movies. I'm a big horror buff. I love the vintage stuff. Where am I at next? Where am I at? Bring that up a little bit as well. Baka. That's not what it. Better. Better. More annoying than a slip of the brush. Bobby Clark, I can see what you're doing. Thank you, Bobby. How often, Bobby, doing obviously what you're doing, do you actually get to paint what you want to paint? Like, anything for you? So obviously you spend 9 weeks painting a 6,000 point commissioned army for Ultramarines. That's an awful lot. I don't know if I've been going now. Oh, just about bang on 2 hours, right? Okay. Go for a little bit longer. Mark Cook, can't you just do it completely black and say it's the silhouettes of the band? Hello, Mr. Cook. How are we? How very odd it is that you and me are not live streaming something together on a Tuesday. Feels like forever we've been doing that now. What date is the next one, Mark? Somebody asked me earlier today and I couldn't for the life of me remember. In fact, Sarah asked me when the next one was. Bobby Clark, not much time for personal hobby. I'd say 5 hours a week. Well, hey, that's more time than some people make for it. I'm quite impressed with doing what you're doing that you get 5 hours a week out of it, you know. And I could understand why you'd want to get almost no hours a week out of it, because if you're doing commission paint work and like you said, you paint stuff that you're like, yeah, cool, I'll paint that because I want to paint it, you know, it actually interests you. And if you're not that into gaming, which I think you said earlier, you're not that fussed about the gaming side of it anymore, then you kind of get, your job is your hobby, isn't it? I suppose, you know, it's. Mark Cook, indeed, felt very weird, but I was working on Richard's quiz today. It'll be banger. 7th of 7th, 2020, if you're in the States. Yes. Okay, cool. I'm looking forward to that. Love me a bit of Richard. Smooth Scottish accent just washes over you like a babbling brook. It's beautiful. Don't know why I've done so many voices tonight. You had a little bit of Obi-Wan, you had a bit of Samwise Gamgee, you had a bit of Gandalf. Now you're getting probably stereotypical racist Scottish impression. I didn't say anything. No, I didn't go into these stereotypes, so I think I got away with it. Right, it's crunch time, people. What colour am I doing this armour? I'm really not sure. I really don't know. I could have a look. In fact, that's what I'll do. Do my Welsh. No, but see, when I say Welsh, I can only do stereotype. Oh boy, you're down in the valleys. You know, all that sort of stuff. I tell you, actually, I used to spend quite a lot of time in Cardiff at a friend's, and I heard one of the best sentences ever said out loud. We were in this pub, sat at this bar, and we weren't. The back door was the front door was basically just behind us, and it's one of those ones where you hang your coat up as you come in, basically. Real classic old pub, country pub. And this bloke, I think he knocked a coat off when he was getting his coat. And he picked this coat up, or for some reason he ended up picking his coat up off the floor, and he held it up and he inquired to the entire pub at the top of his voice, "Whose coat's this jacket?" One of the best sentences I've ever heard in my life. I don't know. See, that's the thing. I'm not entirely sure. I'm really not sure. That's why I think I'm going to look at whatever Michael from Osterworn has done. It's got like straps that hold this like back plate to this breastplate. So I'm really not sure. I'm not sure what material it's supposed to be. Don't birds usually have leather armour? So brown leather. Well, I don't know what it's like up in and around Leeds, Mark, but most of the sparrowhawks and pigeons and sparrows and starlings in my area are not armoured in any way or form. Maybe I need to move to Leeds. Large raptor. Oathsworn. I should find it. There it is. No, I don't want the owl. That's not the one I want. Where's the bird? Oh, why isn't there a bloody picture of the bird? Well, that's bloody typical, isn't it? Oh, there it is. There's one. Huh. So that person's done it metal. And also considerably better than I have. Which is slightly disappointing. Come on, I need to see the other side of that picture. Where is it? Where's it gone? Oh, that's why, because it's actually Michael's painting of it. I will allow the owner of... Oh, here you go. Save me finding him in the box. This is the mini for the mole that I was saying about. How cool is he? I can really look forward to painting him. Where's that bloody picture gone? Where is it? Come on. No, that doesn't help me. I need to see the other side of it. Oh, maybe I will do it metal. Metal seems highly unlikely, though. Doesn't it? That doesn't sit right. But a agile bird, would be flying around with a metal breastplate on. Mark Cook. Sorry, I was probably thinking of their cowl, or whatever the hood thing is called. See you later, Mark. Take care. How about a metallic armour with a dark green glaze? No, I don't want to do it metallic. I think a beaten leather is... I just worry there's too much brown. Brown on black. I don't know, maybe I've been going for 2 and a bit hours. Maybe it is a choice for another day. Maybe. Yeah, I think I will call it a day, so I'll show you. Ooh, let's focus, there it is. So he's done for today. Yeah, happy enough so far. He's coming along. What about what about copper? Like it was fashioned from a huh? Okay, yeah. Bobby Clark, you might be on the right front with that. Even maybe put a little bit of verdigris into it, just in some of the edges, just to highlight the copperiness, old copperiness of it. Yeah, like panel beaten, thin copper. I like that. That could stand out quite. Huh? Yeah. You might be onto something there. Tony Howe, awesome, love the mold. Yeah, he's cool. He's so cool, isn't he? He's just such a great little model. Different Gear TV tin. Yeah, that. I definitely want it to look like a real beaten, panel beaten kind of. Yeah. No. The shape of it and the ergonomics of it, it gives me a bit of a leathery, panel beaten, leathery feel. Yeah, Tony Howe, probably a good idea to sleep on it. Yeah, I think it is. I think I'm going to run with the copper. The copper sounds like a good plan. What am I doing tomorrow night? I'm doing something tomorrow night. I'll do something on a Wednesday. What do I do on a Wednesday? Oh, of course, it's Blackjack Legacy stream. So that's one of the reasons I did a live stream tonight, rather than Friday or Saturday. I'm not sure if Friday or Saturday is a very good one for people. You know, they're too busy kind of doing date night and family time and stuff. You know, so Tuesday seemed like quite a nice idea. And tomorrow night, while Andy is doing his live stream, I shall be working on Mr. Howell's mini swap. In fact, when I moved my camera, you won't have seen it. Something would have been sat on top of them. You won't have seen the minis that are just sat up here. Ha ha ha! Just out of camera shot, Mr. Howell. So close yet so far. Oh bugger! I just dropped one. I'm sure it'll be fine. Well, anyway, I'm going to call it a night, gentlemen. It's been emotional. The green would complement the red browns. What, as in like that green that you were saying, like do a metallic but with a green glaze. But green metal, I can't see green metal. Why would it have a green glaze on it? I like the idea of the copper because I like the idea of it again being a bit more natural. Like you said, sleeping on it's the best idea, I think. But as I say, thank you very much, gentlemen. It's been an absolute pleasure. I might do another one this week. I might do one at the weekend, again Friday or Saturday, something like that. I'm not sure yet. Haven't made up my mind. But all the best, and I shall see thee anon. Bye bye.